What do Battlefield, Helldivers and COD have in common? Right, they were defeated by a duck in the Steam numbers. This video is my first blind playthrough of the game, so I'm not a pro. The only thing I know that it's a funny top-down extraction shooter with ducks. This is going to be ducktastic. Medium difficulty, since I have a lot of respect for extraction shooters since I played Tarkov. So we begin here, somewhere in the middle of nowhere. A few steps further and we come to the character creation. From
She call me Mr. Bombastic, friendly fantastic, touch me on me back, she says I'm Mr. Rowe.
Over to it's all there. I, however, am going to make my favorite bird from Angry Birds. I couldn't represent the white spot, but I did give him white wings. Time for the tutorial. We start in a cell with nothing. Just an ominous voice saying that we have to prove ourselves. And with my sharp gamer instincts, I concluded that we should entrust our lives to this person we've never met before. Fortunately, in the cell next door, there's also a weapon. Enemies come close, weapon aimed at him, and I realize I hadn't reloaded.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Killed the next two enemies with firearms and we're already outside.
Helicopter, helicopter!
Arriving at our home, Jeff gives us a little tour. Here we have a shop, our storage, an upgrade machine, and the possibility to build more facilities. There's also a sewer where you can exchange feathers for talismans. But enough snooping around, it's time to go outside. In the front of our home there's always a box with a weapon and some ammunition, so you don't always start with nothing. After defeating the first enemy we pick up some building materials and I've even found a blueprint. Back at home, the first quest rewards are collected and a workbench is built. There we can craft items for ourselves. On the second run, we find a lantern that I can later sell for over 1000 money, and we finish building the bridge. Following this, we quickly reach the secret entrance to our sewers. The next run, I found the first red duck, which purely specializes in the melee. But otherwise, nothing exciting happened. At home, however, I finally had enough resources to upgrade the workbench, as well as buy a few upgrades. When starting the next run, I didn't really pay attention to the time, which made it dark during the mission. And I was told that spiders come out to hunt. Of course, I had no idea what that meant, but I decided to play it safe and go back to my bunker. A few completed quests later, and I unlocked the second starter crate, which always contains random loot. I also met this nice guy who is a trader, and I can trade with him, but only with cash. Further north I met a camp where the ducks have pretty good loot. Finally a backpack, so that I can carry more. But that was not all. Arrived at the evacuation point, there were first 4 corpses, as well as a half-dead black duck, which I quickly killed, and holy shit, it had good loot. Quickly went home. Admire my new AK. I also built the armor merchant, who of course has also quests for us. During the next run I found Mud, a bodybuilder who gives us quests, but it also means we have to give it to him while the run. According to his tips, in order to become strong we have to be cannibals and eat our own eggs. And we need to give them to him. found more plants and built another bridge. After a short time, I find the first boss, Light Man. A chicken with a pretty big axe.
Gotcha, bitch.
And quite fast. The fight was a bit tight, but luckily I had healing with me. At home, we couldn't expand much at first because I'm still missing important components. The only thing I could do was make sure that we can now repair broken items for money at the workbench. Found an egg and gave it to Matt. Now he wants some crackers. I wanted to check if Lightman spawns at the same spot again. And yes, he does. See for yourself what happens.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
So damn low. And with that, all our loot is gone forever. Well, that happens. It's not the end of the world. Luckily, there was a cracker in the starter chest. Mud will be happy. And next, he wants some cigarettes. I mean, what's heavier for the body than a Marlboro Gold? On the next run, I went left instead of right and found the teleporter home, or near the bunker. But we can't get any further in the north because the path there is blocked by a wall, which we have to blow up with explosives. At the bottom left of the map, there is also a restricted area that you can only enter with a security card. On the next run, I also remembered to bring cigarettes for Mud, and he offers to join us and move into our bunker if we build him a stand. Nice to see that such side quests still contributes something to the game besides XP and currency. Funny is also that I played around Halloween, so some enemies are walking around with pumpkins on their heads, which even provides protections and are edible. At home, however, I first built a gym for Mud, who sells us stims and even has more quests for us. But you can also continue to train your stats there with food and time. Apparently, Lightman also has a different spawn point on the other side of the map. Doesn't matter, time for revenge. For losing valuable loot because of you. In that run, I also found out that the storm causes damage if you are outside at the time. I suppose you need to bring 300 healing items, or there are some armor protections later in the game. At home, I built a tech station where you can buy important electronic parts. Quickly bought the required parts for the teleporter and bam! We also have a teleporter that can teleport us to the different locations once we have unlocked the teleporter point for the region. In the following run, we found enough resources to complete this large bridge which leads us to a cave, where there are blueprints for a laser weapon with matching ammunition. Next run is starting, and this time I was smart enough to bring the fence key to loot this extra room. However, in my experience, rooms like this can only be looted once because nothing valuable spawns there afterwards. For example, the second time I looted this, there were only like 4 stones. Skipped a few uninteresting runs and I found out that you can hide using a box, which works kinda okay. However, I dawdled a bit too much and was too loot hungry, and I paid the price for it. Okay, note to self, going out at night is a death sentence. I mean, holy duck, how fast did the spider tear me apart? Bye bye, good loot. We'll see each other in the next life. A few semi-successful runs later, and I found out that you can hide yourself with boxes. Further north, I then found my corpse, and I was able to reclaim my loot, which I didn't know until then. I thought when you die, everything is gone, but apparently not. You get another chance to get everything back. It would have been nice to know that when I died in the first time. Well, you can't change the past, but with the recovered loot, I was able to build the key restriction station where we can register found keys, so I don't have to carry them around all the time. I've also crafted a little I've also crafted a little here and there, and the weapons shop is finally being built. There, you can buy weapons as well as attachments. Plus there are quests available as well. I was also able to build a kitchen, where we can get even more quests and further improve our stats. However, to do that you have to fish, which requires bait and a fishing rod. We've got a quest for Mud. We have to kill enemies with the help of a wooden stick, while we have a strength boost from the stims. Problem is, I sold all of our stims 2 runs ago, and now I have to buy them at a high price from Mud. But whatever, I still have 600 coins left. Of course, the best loot isn't going to be taken with this quest and this run, which is why I'm wearing this pumpkin. But enough talking, let's go. Found enemies, took the stim and kill 1. Kill 2. Kill 3. Problem is, I killed red ducks, and they don't count for the rest of the quest. Well, I still have 1. My leg! Of course, I'm missing just 1 for the quest. At home, I could build a med station with the loot I got. Surprisingly, you can buy medicine there. Now it's time to complete this goddamn quest.
Target acquired.
At that time, I thought I explored everything on the entire map, but I had never checked the top right corner. And well, do you remember the black duck with the pretty good loot? It came from there, and not only that, I also found the second boss, Pablo. I know his name is Pablo Chapo, but somehow I didn't look properly and read Pablo. This boss, however, is much harder than the first one. He has a firearm and can roll. Plus, he has several bodyguards who are almost as well armed as he is. Just a quick reminder, I don't have good weapons or armor because I'm doing Matt's quest. Luckily, I always take enough medicine with me. In Pablo's base, there was also the teleporter point for the first area, and good loot. Towards the evacuation zone, also found the first fishing point. I just need to find the second one. At home, the first cool weapon will also be built. MF with a scope, muzzle, magazine, and a laser pointer. And look how awesome it is. In one of my subsequent runs, I found dynamite, which finally allowed me to blow up the fragile wall. I could actually have done it much earlier, since I had enough ammo that I could convert it to gunpowder and then build the dynamite, but now we're lucky we have it, and let's see what's behind this wall. At first, it's a bit of loot, and a zipline to the next area. Of course, I haven't moved on to it yet, because I want to complete all the quests for the first area first. Like this clock that was pretty mean and placed in the last goddamn corner of the map. I also spent 80 feathers in the sewers. At first I thought I was going to get an awesome and strong totem, but instead I got a whole bunch of them. Among these there were only 2 that I thought were pretty cool. First, HP 3, which gives me 25 HP. Downside is I'm 10% slower, since I'm already walking with like 3 miles per hour, because I carry way too much loot around with me. That won't be a problem. The second totem makes me get more head and body armor, and the downside is that I take more elemental damage. Since nobody really uses that anyway, it doesn't matter for now. Oh, and totems are not lost upon death. I also created a small shortcut here with dynamite. And a little jump scare. And a blue helmet showed up, wherever that came from. After an incredible long search, I've also found the second fishing spot. And sharp-eyed viewers will notice I walked past it about 100 times. I just couldn't see the fishing spot because of all the docking spots, huh? Through the quest, I also had to kill mercenary. You know, that black ducks with a shotgun. And shotguns are in the game. I mean, just look at it. With my AK, I would have taken it down easily, in seconds. And then there was the one we won with Pablo.
Hello there.
Gotcha, bitch!
Round 2. Fight!
That was easy.
After completing the quest, I can finally do fishing. And so I took my fishing rod, go to the spot, and forgot the bait. At least I can start the first run into the new area. Of course, better be careful. Who knows what enemies have here in their pocket. And yeah, there are also just black ducks wandering around here. I think this will be important for later quests. Even the dogs are wearing armor here.
Headshot.
Okay, I found the first boss here. Sniper himself. Tons of health and he can even hit you if he is off screen.
Now that's a lot of damage!
Headshot.
Hello there. Took home a lot of loot and first of all put together a new best weapon, since I realized the old one couldn't keep up anymore. That's it, more expeditions are going to happen in the next video, and don't forget to like, subscribe and ring that little bell. And bye.